So hello and welcome to this clip just describing my yoga a bit more in depth. I wanted to do a separate video so that I can explain what I teach, how it works, without cluttering up the lesson, so that when you want to watch the lesson more than one time, you're not waiting for Janet to stop prattling on about things. So I teach Drew Yoga, which is D-R-U, Drew. And it's a gentle flowing yoga. It's really quite lovely. And although it's gentle and it's basically, most beings can do it, most bodies are able to do it, it is still powerful. It works on deep and subtle layers of your being. And I do invite you to enjoy the classes, just flow with them, rather than taking the judgmental thought, which is something that I've had over time, thinking this isn't hard enough because I'm not feeling like a squeezed pretzel, or because I'm not sweating buckets, I'm getting no benefit. Well, that's not the case, and we're learning more and more that with busy lives, what the balance the body needs to get the most health and well-being is gentleness, is calm, flowing movements, and also awareness. If you take your awareness into the movements you're doing, really notice what's happening in your body, the theory is that you get more than twice the benefits than if you just move mindlessly. So no judgment. It can often take a little bit into the class before you're really present, but just to know you don't have to work so hard if your body is observing, if you're observing what your body is doing. Okay? Now, our Drew classes have a set format. Basically, we start with an activation, and that's a bit of fun, beaty music where we move the body. We move it a little bit free form. We bring our awareness into our body and we're warming it up. So that's generally at the start of most classes. We then move on to our energy block release, an EBR. So basically, that's a set of postures and movements that are designed to all work together for a certain purpose. And they are just delightful. So just if I go EBR, it's an energy block release, and it's dissolving away blocks of energy in your being. So we have EBR1, which the purpose of is it's designed to balance you and to bring to de-stress your being. EBR2 is about bringing you present here and now. And EBR3 is about opening your heart. So they can all be morphed in different directions, but they all work beautifully. Okay, so we have an activation, we have an EBR, and then we generally have some postures. It depends how long the class is. We do less and do more deeply than rush through. After postures, if we have time, we bring in a sequence. Now, you'll probably all be familiar with the sun sequence that most traditions use. So we have our sun sequence, of course, because it's Drew, it's more flowing. We have our moon sequence, we have our earth sequence. Actually, we have a lot, and they are delightful. So look forward to those. With our Drew classes, we always have a relaxation at the end. And I know that's not in all traditions, and there's no judgment or ever. It's just we are taught that you get more benefit if you just have a deep relaxation at the end. It allows the work you've done to really settle into your cells, to have a longer term benefit. And it's because that I know lives are busy. We just had our 2.5-year-old granddaughter stay for 5 days, and that reminded me how busy some of your lives are. So I get it. That is why the relaxations are separate and they're different lengths. So I'll always end classes in Makarasana, lying on your tummy, and that's a relaxation too. But if you have time to add a relaxation at the end, you will get the benefits. But no judgment. Life is what it is. After our relaxation, in a perfect Drew class that had all the time they wanted, you would have a breathing exercise, a pranayama, and then a meditation. But realistically, not many classes I teach have all of those components. The breathing and the meditation are sometimes not. So that's basically the format you'll see through the classes. Now, things I wanted to draw attention to and talk a bit more on this video rather than in each yoga class. First one is core stability. So your core are your muscles that hold your internal organs and hold your lower back. And it's a core set of muscles that a lot of us have lost a connection with. And we need it back. But we've got to be kind to ourselves through this process, okay? So let's just for a moment access our core muscles. You can do this sitting, you can do this standing. It really doesn't matter. But we are encouraged to do it on the out breath. So let's take a breath in. And as you breathe out, lift up your pelvic floor. So just like you're walking out into cold water and the natural contraction that lift up. But we want it gentle. It's like 15 to 20% of what you could do. And so you hold that core, the pelvic floor on. Breathe in. And on your next out breath, draw your lower abdominals in. So it's like you're drawing your skin in away from your clothing, all around your being, but staying below the navel. And be kind to yourself as you do this. Once again, we're only looking at about 10% engagement. I always look at my students when we're working on core and they get their core faces. It's like that concentration, can I find those muscles? So if you have disconnected with these, be kind to yourselves. But the theory is, you get up in the morning, your core comes on. You go to bed at night, your core relaxes. The rest of the day, it is naturally engaged. Or unless you're doing meditation or relaxation. So that is what our beings are made for, and we get better at it. But it's incredibly important when you're twisting or basically twisting through your spine that your spine is really supported. Core stability. I do bang on about it a little bit. The other thing I want to really make sure is clear to you is that you take responsibility for your body. Just because Janet's saying we're doing this movement, if you know it's not right for your body, please don't do it, modify it, or skip it altogether. If you're in any doubt at all, please seek medical advice. We're all different. We've had different lives, so our bodies are carrying different limitations, and we need to honour them. It's not a push through. With Drew, pain says stop. I'm not judging how you live your life. But that's our philosophy. Pain means stop, change, do differently. All right? So honour your body. Look after it. Now, if you have, in my class, I have a lot of people who have shoulder issues. Weight of the world, we're taught. Okay, so just limit the movements. Instead of taking the hands up if it's uncomfortable, just keep them lower. Don't look after your body. Knees is another thing that often people have injuries or restrictions. And if I'm encouraging you to kneel, pop a blanket under your knee. Or if it's really too uncomfortable, perhaps sit on a chair and modify it in that way. And the other thing is, if I'm saying to squat and your knees don't do that happily, just bend the knees a little bit. Rather than being straight legs, just drop yourselves down a little bit. Okay? Great. Now, hands above the head for some people, or above the heart actually is what it is, above heart level. If you have a high blood pressure, the odd person feels dizzy. Now, if your blood pressure is medicated and it's balanced, it's all good. But if you have high blood pressure and you get dizzy in any way, just keep the arms lower than the shoulders, okay? And that should just help not make your heart work so hard. Okay. Now, the other thing I want to say to you, this is your class. These will be your classes. You choose. I remember doing ones online during lockdown and going, I can't be bothered doing that again. I'm just over it. And so I didn't. And it was really quite empowering. So this is yours. Whatever you do with it, it's your call. Do be open, because often it's the things we don't like as much that we actually need to do a bit of. So be open. But after, if you've run through it a couple of times and you think, I don't want to do it that much, or I want to do more of that, remember, your class, your choice. I invite you to not rush. I'm inviting, I'm not saying what you should do. But life's busy. You might notice I talk fast. If we can learn to slow down and to just be, it's really quite delightful for your body. Okay, I think that's all I need to share with you. Thank you for your patience and listening, and enjoy the practices. Really enjoy them. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Namaste.